next guest is Judy Herman, author of Beyond Messy Relationships, Divine Invitations to Your Authentic Self. In this book, you'll learn from toxic patterns and trauma to transformation. This marriage memoir from a professional relationship therapist guides readers through an authentic journey through AIR, awareness, intentionality, and risks to find hope. Judy, how are you today?
I'm doing great, and I'm so glad to be here, Kendra.
Fantastic. So not many counselors write their memoirs. Why would you take such a risk to be so vulnerable?
I had to write this memoir because I have 40 years of marital experience, and my life has been,
yes,
but yes, well, I mean, you can clap, but I have raised 4 remarkable human beings in that marriage, and it ended after nearly 3 decades. I needed to recover, and I pursued my education to become a licensed professional counselor. I knew exactly what I wanted. I began to trust again, and I learned how to dance. And I met my ballroom dance partner, who later became my husband, and he has also had years of experience in his wellness with his bipolar disorder. So as a new wife, I missed the signs. And I had, the credentials. I'm a licensed professional counselor, mental health service provider. I missed the signs that he was entering into a season of psychosis. And that darkness and that nightmare included 2 inpatient hospitalizations and an auto accident that nearly left me a widow or a twice divorced relationship therapist. In my darkest days, when I was suffocating, I needed air. Awareness, intentionality, and risks were divine invitations to my authentic self. My writing Beyond Messy Relationships was a huge risk because I didn't know whether my second marriage was viable. And I thought, if my clients read this, they're saying, and why are we seeing her as our therapist? But the opposite has been true. And this is not just my story. It is about all of us and our longing for love and connection and beyond our messy relationships. So it's been very transformational. I've come away from writing this book that I think every therapist or anybody that works with anybody in very deep places of their hearts and souls to write their own stories, it was very transformational. And I'm so thankful for Morgen James for believing in me and rooting for me in writing this book.
Fantastic. So you mentioned something that I found really interesting. So you talked about dancing, and so you chose the metaphor of dancing to describe relationships. Why, and why does that matter?
It matters because here's what happens. When we are developing in our early lives, our brains are not fully developed, and we know that through neuroscience, that the brain is fully developed at the age of 25 or so. So while that development is going on, we all learn how to relate in our family of origins. We learn how to move toward pleasure and away from pain. And what we do is we take those very same patterns inadvertently into our adult relationships, and we don't even know that we are part of the mess. Using the analogy of dance, of course I love dancing because it does represent movement to life rather than being stuck for a long time. And so there's dances that I'll identify. When readers read my book, they are getting therapy as well. I tell them, it's not a substitute for therapy. But some of my people have said, readers, I'm saying, they say, Judy, I feel like I'm getting therapy and I'm not even paying you for it. But so I show up as a therapist in each one of the chapters, but it does have a story arc. But I use the analogy of dancing because a happy marriage is not a stagnant marriage. And we can be happy in one season of our lives, we can be falling apart in another season. But the dancing helps us, we work on, and my husband and I still, we work on the growth resilience dance. And I show folks how to do that.
That sounds much fun. Judy, even though this is a memoir, you give us a simple, profound formula for getting beyond messy relationships. So tell us a little bit more about breathing in fresh air.
If you think about it, air is a very essential thing that we all need in order to live. And when we breathe in air deeply, it does slow down the nervous system. So when we get reactive in our relationships or in conflicts in relationships, period, you take a deep breath of air, and only 90 seconds, it'll slow down that nervous system. But A stands for awareness. And we, throughout our lives and our seasons of life, we become more aware. And then the I is intentionality. We need to not just be aware, but have the intentions. And then the risk is what every one of us need to take. You know, we get comfortable and taking a risk for life and living life well, because that is the journey toward the authentic self.
Well put. Judy, where can the viewers and readers at home get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me. You can get in touch with me by going to judycounselor.com, and you can get a free relationship stress quiz. If you're not quite sure how your relationship is affecting you, you can take that quiz and get an idea. And also you can get there also through messyrelationships.com. You can get the first 3 chapters of this book for free. And I would love to connect with you more. And also I'm available for speaking engagements. You can go to judyspeaker.com in case you forget my last name. But it's messyrelationships.com.
Thank you so much for your time today. Congratulations on the book.
Well, thank you, Kendra. I appreciate it. Thank you.